Hey guys, how are we doing? Welcome to the very first vidcast from Let's Talk with Matt and Johnny. We brought on board Sanjay Patel as our resident life coach. This one we're going to be talking around isolation anxiety. Hope you enjoy. Okay guys, so on this first episode we're going to start talking about obviously the current situation we're in at the moment with being in isolation and being away from friends and family and things like that. I mean, how are you guys finding it?
How am I finding it? I'm finding it challenging, but also it's bringing out my creativity into my business. Not seeing friends and families like really hard, but if we didn't have technology, what would we do? I think technology is proving a massive part of this whole isolation, and also I think bringing everyone together more as a community than ever.
Yeah. It's true. I'm finding that I'm, just talking to, like, we've made like a WhatsApp group, or you talk about Facebook groups of your like community and things like that, and you're kind of just talking amongst yourselves, like if anybody needs any support down the road or whatever. That, I might have walked past their house or whatever, but never actually spoke to them. But then like this time we're going, are you okay? How's things with you? Or just saying hi to people and things like that. I think a lot of people kind of before were kind of in their own little bubble. And I think now people are going, actually, you're going through this just as much as I am, and I think that's quite important. I think people are kind of sharing, that by even just saying hello,
Yeah, echoing pretty much what both of you said, I've been working from home for like the last 9 months, so that's nothing new to me. But being forced to stay home is like Johnny said, like it's bringing so much more out of me. And almost, I know this might sound quite woo-woo, but like from a spiritual perspective, like you're just trying to, like I've appreciated so many more things that I wouldn't have normally done. And literally, when I go for a run now, it's the simple things like looking at the flowers blossom and looking at the sun and stuff like that, which I never really did. And I just think, wow, like, actually you can look at these things and be like, okay, now it's been taken away from me. I'm actually like super grateful, and especially with the family and friends thing, like not being able to go out. I'm an active person. I like to be out, but I think you just get used to it. But it's definitely bringing out something I didn't realise I think I had. So yeah, interesting, but good. All good though.
Yeah, different personality traits as well.
Massively.
It's testing like qualities that you probably didn't even know that you had, that in these situations are bringing out those qualities, and you're like, whoa, I didn't even know I had that in the bag. And then hopefully this is what I think going forward is that the world now will change. We won't take things for granted as much, like going to the shops, and you normally would go straight in and straight out. Now you're queuing to get in the shops, you're queuing even to get toilet paper, you're queuing to get your essentials. And maybe when it all goes back to normal eventually, then maybe we'll realise that these essentials are really important to us, more so now than they were, before this whole lockdown began.
Yeah. I think like British people are notoriously known for like not communicating with each other and just being in your own zone and your own lens, and just it's almost like you've got goggles on and you're just in your own world. But now, like everyone is communicating with each other because we've all got the same issue. So you just like you said, bringing the community out. Like it is so different now to like, even though I'm still local, like everyone I go past, everyone I walk past or run past, they're like, "Hi, how's it going? Like it's good to see you out." Just make a conversation. And I just think it's a nice thing. It really is.
Yeah.
And also when we were out walking yesterday, I've never seen so many people walking, and a positive of that, to look on the positive side of that, is that it's probably bringing people out that are not been active in the past, but now this is their only opportunity to get out of the house for an hour or whatever it is, half an hour, and get walking. So it's in that effect is a positive for them as well, because maybe they increase their physical activity after all this sort of calms down.
Yeah. I think a lot of people now, I think it's almost like where we're all, like say, Sanjay, you've been working from home and stuff, and so, where I normally work in an office, and now I'm kind of working from home, is that now I'm kind of, actually, if I'm in one space, which I am normally, it's just the thing is that I now am going, actually, if I only get an hour to exercise or whatever, whether I do that in my own front room or my garden, I can actually go out and do the walks. I can do that normally. It's just now it's in the forefront of my mind. Someone going, actually, if someone's going, you've got an hour to go and exercise, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to utilise that hour. I've always had those hours. I've always had that hour when I got back from work and everything else. I've always had that time. But now when someone's like, oh, you need to, prioritise that. And if you're going to have an hour to exercise, utilise it to go out and make sure you keep your distance and that type of stuff. But it's kind of bringing that to people's forefront, to people's minds. And I think a lot more people are actually going to be more active, whether it's just walking or running or whatever. But also another thing for me is also thinking, actually, because the gyms are closed and things like that, people do go and keep active. Do you think that they're, especially, this might be a question for you, John, but, it's that, do you think people are actually going to use gyms more in the future, or are they going to think, actually, I was pretty good at exercising without it?
I think from my perspective, as in the industry that I'm in, is that, so when all this broke out, I thought the virtual stuff, I wasn't that keen about doing it, to be fair, because I love that face-to-face value stuff. But even people, after 1 week of doing the virtual classes with me, have said, I absolutely love this. I didn't know I could do this at home, and I thought it would be boring. I didn't feel like I'd be working as hard, but I feel like you're in the room. Yeah. So, no, I think gyms will have a massive hit when we go back to normal.
Yeah.
Because people will think, do you know what? I can probably save money and work at home, because I know I can. Because for 3 months or 6 months, I've proved to myself that I can actually do it. So do you see what I mean? So I think gyms maybe will take a bit of a hit from this.
Yeah.
Personally.
Mm.
But everyone's got their own style of training, haven't they? So
yeah, exactly. And again, there's certain things you can't do from home. Obviously, you don't have a treadmill, you don't have a bike, you don't have all these different things. You don't have abundance of weights and stuff, and bars and things like that, which obviously a lot of people will need for gyms and stuff. But I'm just thinking that actually people that may have just gone down to and just paid for a gym membership and just gone down to the gym have actually going, I'm just going to run outside, because I've been doing it for months now, and I don't really need to run on the trail. It's actually more fun to run outside, that type of thing. So yeah, it's interesting. But go on, mate.
Yes, go on. So going back to you working from home, so you've gone from working in an office with loads of people, as in socialising with other people around you. How have you adapted that? So you've gone home, you're working by yourself in your room. What's your structure of your day then?
Yeah, it's the thing is that there's positives and negatives to that, I think, and I think a lot of people listen to this will probably be the same. Is that actually there's negatives in a way of not having that interaction and kind of just turning around and having a coffee with someone or just having a general chat about what they've done for the weekend. You physically got to call them up or get on a something like this, and have a chat with them or see them. So there's that kind of negative, but also as well is that for me, I think that actually working by myself in my own little office that I've created here is that I'm actually just able to crack on with what I need to crack on with, and being able to actually just go, look, I need to do what I need to do, and then I can prioritise what I need to do. I'm not looking at I can look at my emails and prioritise that. A lot of the time, especially within my work, I would get people coming up to me and talking to me, or I'll go and see them, walking around the office and chatting to people. But I think this way is that you can actually prioritise something. I think that's what works for me. I'm able to prioritise what I need to do and what works as a working out that list. But it's also for me it's making sure that I'm keeping active and keeping my mind active and that type of thing, and not just being like, oh, this is boring, and being negative about it as well.
Are you taking regular what are you doing exercise wise?
So exercise wise, I'm kind of doing like little home workouts and stuff. I've downloaded like a couple of little apps, just free apps and stuff, and also, as you can probably see behind me, my indoor like turbo trainer thing. So I've got like my road bike linked up to a turbo trainer, and you can put the tablet on the handlebars and stuff, and basically just like training indoors. So I'm able to kind of do that, and also as well keep active and doing a couple of your online classes, virtual classes as well, Johnny, as well. But and as well for me, I've also found that actually I'm just using my free time just to play a bit of like Xbox and that type of stuff, or other people got PlayStations and things like that, just to kind of take your mind away from just being in that one room or just being surrounded by your own laptop or whatever. You're able to actually escape from it by doing this.
It stops you thinking about what's going on, doesn't it? It's all quite overwhelming, right? I think we all agree that. We all agree that, don't we?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't really watch. I don't know about you guys, but I probably watch the news for about 5 minutes a day. That's it. I don't even look on Twitter or anything now.
Yeah,
me personally, it affects my day
massively. But when this all kicked off, I remember, what was it, 2-3 weeks ago, when we were probably getting serious about it in the UK. I started watching the news, and what I realised, because I'm in my office, got 2 screens, so I just have it in my little box up in the top corner, and I have it on, and I didn't realise what was going on. Is that I put it on at like 2 o'clock, and it was still on till 5 o'clock, and I was literally watching it like 24/7, and it started to really mess with my mood, my vibe, like my work rate. My negativity was just really just setting in, and I was just like, whoa. And I literally woke up the next day, I was like, I feel horrendous. Not because I hadn't done anything, but it's just because I was literally sat there watching this negative, like people are dying. I was just like, whoa. And I was just like, okay, this is too much. So I completely shifted. Like, anxiety was really hitting me, and I was like, so completely shifted. I was like, look, let me just limit it to like half hour a day just to get the updates. I don't need to watch the same thing on repeat. And I think when I've been speaking to some of my clients, they're just constantly watching it and get so anxious because they're getting so fearful, so scared.
So what are you telling your clients then? So when they're
limit how much social media as well and news you watch per day. Like, limit your usage. Like, I'm not saying don't go on there, because I do think you still need to go on there to construct your mind to be able to handle it. But if you completely get rid of it, then you're going to want it more. So I was just like, just limit the usage, limit it right down. You don't need a half hour or an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. You only need a half hour, an hour max a day, 24 hours in a day. Like, you can be so much more productive. And then what I realised over me doing it is that when I was limited to an hour, I was so focused on my work. I was so much more happier. Like, my endorphins were being released. I was doing so many different things. It was,
stay positive, mate.
It completely shifted, mate. It's good. So I'm quite glad I went through that, though, because now I know what people are going through.
Yeah.
Now I know the people that are sitting there watching Netflix on the sofa all day, watching the news, watching articles. It's just like, slow down, stop, like reassess, and then go back.
Yeah. I think that's the thing. I think a lot of people now almost feel like they've got too much free time. And the thing is that is the constant stuff that's in the news. It's you can't escape it, can you? It was almost like, the last year it was all about Brexit. Well, for the last 2 years, as the whole news has constantly been about Brexit. And even when we kind of left the European Union on the 31st of January, it kind of came and went, and people were like, so what's Brexit mean then? We've been talking about it for 2 years, do you know what I mean? But people still didn't know about it. I think now people are thinking, with this coronavirus stuff, they're constantly just looking at it and just being like, just being fed with all this information. And there's so much good work that's being done. There's so many good, positive stories that are out there saying, look, there are people that are surviving, there are people that are recovering from this, there are people that are doing some great work, all these key workers and stuff putting all this work in. Then it's like, okay, let's go and on Thursday at 8 o'clock we all applauded them and everything else, and that's great, but let's show that. Let's be like, thank you, physically going up to them and saying thank you so much, like, for all your hard work, rather than going, oh, another 100 dead. That's
the thing, they don't show enough of that, do they?
Yeah.
They're showing so much of the negative stuff and the deaths, but about the people that are saving people's lives and the amount of people that actually saved. Like, who really talks about that? It's starting to filter through, though. So Saturday HS every Thursday at 8 o'clock, like, clapping, like, that was massive. That, like, went viral all over social media, which was great.
That was actually quite emotional, to be fair.
Yeah.
Made me go well cold at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Well, when literally like your streets like absolutely buzzing. I'm like, bloody hell, didn't know anyone lived around here.
Yeah, exactly. Who are you?
What me?
Yeah.
Mental.
Sanj, you mentioned earlier in your thing saying about like your own personal thing around anxiety and stuff. What would you say would be, you know, being in your profession, what would you say would be the best ways around it? Obviously limiting your exposure to it, but is there anything else that you would say about what we could try and do?
Yeah, there's a couple of things which I still do now. It's just like, first of all, you just need to structure a day. Like, it's so important to have a plan. Like, I always plan the day before for my next day. Even like what time I'm going to wake up. I purposely wake up earlier than what I normally would do to go out and do exercise and go for a run. So important. Like, people don't realise to start your day right. Like, Johnny, you all know about this. Like, to get up straight away and do exercise like first thing in the morning. Like, it completely changes my day. Like, completely. And then I'm just super motivated and super clear. Another thing is your diet. Like, I've noticed, like, since people have been home, like, people eating so much like junk and like just fast food and ready meals, and all of that's doing is just suppressing everything and just making you more sluggish, more fatigued. I'm just like, you need to keep up with a regular healthy diet as best you can. Obviously I know there's not going to be a huge amount of circumstances that people have got at the moment, but what you can do, like, you still can be mildly healthy, like, and eating what you're doing, and that does like make a massive effect on you. And also, like, another thing I do is I challenge myself every day to FaceTime, especially in isolation, to FaceTime at least 5 people a day. I'm going to class you as 2, but like, just, to have that interaction with people, 15-20 minutes of speaking to someone, it just keeps you, like, for your mind, it just keeps you like on par and on level with the normal world, the normalization. Like, so important. I think they're like my main things I do to just reduce anxiety. Obviously, limit the news and social media. But I also have one day where I have 24 hours of no social media. So I delete all the apps and then I just put them back on the next day. But I think yesterday was my day, Sunday. I just thought, I'm just going to delete everything. I don't need to see it. It's all the same content just being regurgitated. So, things like that. And it's all about just being able to train your mind to be able to accept those things and just be okay with it and then focus. I'm
very similar. So so for work or anything, I've always done this even before this whole coronavirus began, is every Sunday with my diary, sit down for an hour, however long it takes me, and plan my whole week. Whack it in the diary so that I know going into a new week, like Monday, people dread Monday, don't they? Because they don't know what the week's going to hold or what's going to happen. So I'm in that position to plan my week ahead, so I know that I'm going to be super productive throughout the whole week. And then the other thing, which has gone mad, I think, house party has gone nuts. Oh my god, I don't even know what's going on. So house party, all the lads, every day in a group house party every day at 4:30, just to keep checking in with them, because I've got one mate that lives in Dubai, one mate lives in India, and then the rest of us live in the UK. And then like family FaceTimes, we've set like family FaceTimes up on like Sundays and Saturdays, just to keep. I think it's really important to keep that. Talking to your family and friends, but social interaction. It's very easy to go and hide in your room, curl yourself up in the ball, and go, "Oh my god, I hope this blows away." But it's not going to happen. You got to surround yourself with positive people and positive energy to push through every single day.
I think also looking at this period in our lives, like, there's a massive opportunity as well. Like, just to have a reset. Like, I keep saying, like, the world is going through a deep clean at the moment, and it's so weird. So much less pollution. I know everyone agrees, but for an individual, but just for an individual, just to have, what'd you say?
It's a big clean.
It's massive. It's massive. Like, it's huge. But then just to have this opportunity to learn a new craft, learn a new hobby, build a business, look at what you're doing, like, look at what you want to create. Like, people don't have this time usually, and now they've got this time. Like, there's so much opportunity now.
My client phoned me up this morning, and he works at the Royal Berks in Reading, and he phoned me up and said that he's absolutely manic. And the last sentence he said to me was this. He said, take this time to reset, refuel, and just relax, read a book, and just relax, because this time you won't get this time ever again. And I took that on board, like just take each day nice and slowly like that, because I've been like super like I need to be productive every hour, every minute, every hour, every day. That's a song, isn't it? That song, every minute, every hour, every day. So I took that on board, applied it to my day today. It's so much different. Just relax.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, I totally agree. I think there's so much now that and like we were saying before at the start of the conversation, it's basically saying that we take so much stuff for granted that we're actually now looking at it and going, okay, look, let's actually reflect and relax, and let's make sure that we're kind of resetting, what we want to try and achieve out of, however long, whenever we get out of it, or kind of making life easier once we're in this kind of situation. So that's good. That's really, really good. Was there anything else you guys wanted to mention about this?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of uncertainty at the moment. There's a lot of people trying to control what's going on, but realistically, and this is where anxiety and the anxious feeling comes from. You can't control what you can't control. Like, it's a fact. You don't know how long it's going to last. There was a Chinese lady who put a video out the other day, and she was like, I'm so blessed to have used this last 8-9 weeks to really reevaluate what I want in life and what I want for me. And like, there's so much time to do some inner work with people to really be able to find out their mantra and understand what they want and what they want out of life. And that's what I say. Like, you can't control what you can't control, but you can control what's going on within you. So focus on that, not the outside. And yeah, it'll be all good.
Yeah, I'd say my ethos is positive mental attitude, and it's easier said than done, depending on everyone's predicament and where they stand in life. But to try and pick out one positive a day, or help one person a day, is enough. That's enough for me. If I make one person happy in a day, my job's done. As a PT, my job's done. But going forward, I think the approach is one day at a time. Trying to talk to as many people as you can from like a FaceTime perspective or WhatsApp video, whatever's accessible for you. And just keep positive.
It's infectious as well, right?
It is, mate. Yeah. I'm transmitting like energy for a laptop. I've never do that before.
Feeling it.
I'll show you a day effect, mate. That's right, Matt. I think that's a good conversation, lads. And I hope everyone that's listening can take a few points on board and apply it to their day or their week or whatever. And if you've got any questions, then feel free to give us a message.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I was just going to say. We've obviously set up this podcast and this Instagram page with Let's Talk with Matt and Johnny. So it's just drop us a message. Obviously we've got Sanjay on board here, so if we've got anything that's kind of a bit more need a bit more professional advice, then Sanjay's on board to help out with that as well. So, and again, like I say, this is the types of conversations that people may be having or may need to be having. And again, it's just kind of just being aware that we're all in the same situation. Some people might be in a different situation than us. But let's kind of share that experience and see what we can do and help each other out. Yeah.
And just to finish up on, if you want to talk to the man himself, Mr. Sanjay, I think we should drop your email or whatever underneath, just in case anybody wants to contact you with any queries they have or anything like that. I think it's really important that we have your contact details on the page if you're happy to do that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. At the moment, I'm just like, because I'm working from home, I am just having conversations, contact with anyone who needs it, with anyone who is struggling at the moment with anxiety or anxious feelings or uncertainty or fear. These are all things that I've been working with clients over the last 2 years, bar the coronavirus. So everything's just lifted. But yeah, I'm happy to help as and where I can.
Anybody wants to get some endorphins in their body, you can message me if you want to. Nah, you rubbish.